Okay, for everybody on the meeting Zoom right now, we're just as a public notice, we are live on YouTube.
Thank you, Elvia.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ready to go, Elvia?
Ready?
Thank you. Welcome to our Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021 regular City Council meeting. I will now use my trusty virtual hammer here to start our meeting. I'll now call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. For the audience tonight, I'm the mayor and serve as presiding officer for a portion of tonight's meeting until the reorganization of the City Council that will occur on special item number 3. Tonight's public meeting will be conducted utilizing Zoom video communications. This allows the city to conduct essential business and comply with public health administration recommendations to protect the public and city employees to protect social distancing and limit exposure by not allowing in-person public meetings. To ensure that the public will be able to participate in our meeting, public comments can be submitted as live comments during Zoom meetings and via email at publiccomments@cityofglendora. Brief update for tonight's meeting, we'll have 4 special items, 10 consent calendar items, 0 unfinished business items, and 4 new business items. I thought that I would share a quote from Margaret Mead, an American cultural anthropologist, that is appropriate for our group. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So with that, Madam Deputy City Clerk, can you conduct the roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. At this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each council member respond with present when their name is called. Councilmember Thompson.
Present.
Councilmember Friedendahl.
Present.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Present.
And Mayor Alawas.
Present.
All council members are present. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Elvia. This time I'd like to ask Bishop John Phelan, Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, to give us the invocation.
Thank you. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the blessings we have. We're grateful for the opportunity. Am I still live?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please proceed.
I'm sorry about that. Our
A
Father in
message from heaven.
Yes. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the blessings we have. We're grateful for the opportunity to meet tonight as a city council and as a city and mayor and so forth. And we're grateful for the city of Glendora. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to live in this beautiful city. We're grateful for this community, those who are in it of all different backgrounds. Father, we bless this council and we ask thee to help them, that as they discuss the affairs of this city this evening, that they will be able to have thy spirit with them, that they will be able to know the direction to take the city and the things that would be pleasing unto thee. We ask thee specifically to bless our youth in this city during this pandemic, that we will be able to keep them engaged, that we'll be able to keep them happy and be able to find things that they can fill their time with joy and with work and things that will build their character. We thank thee for these members of this council and that they're able to devote this time, that they're able to put in their best for our city. We appreciate them. We ask thee to bless them both collectively and individually. These blessings we ask for in the name of thy son, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Phelan.
Thank you.
I'd like to now ask Mr. Stephen Flowers to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, City Council.
I ask all attendees to please stand if you are able as we recite our Pledge of Allegiance. With your right hand over your heart, join me as I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stephen, very much. This brings us to our special item number 1, reopening the economy. I'd like to invite our city manager, Mr. Adam Raymond, to give the update.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We have, I'll be giving the next 2 special items, and we'll get through these quickly. I know on the call tonight, we have a lot of important people and we don't want to keep them waiting. So Elvia, next slide, please. One more. This marks the 19th meeting at the City Council. We provided a COVID update. As we've done many times before, this presentation picks up where we left off from the last meeting. You can always go back and watch all the in-depth presentations to see just how far we've come as it relates to COVID-19. Next slide, please. As everyone knows, under the state, we have a blueprint for a safer economy, which guides our overall economic reopening. It's a tiered system based on color, from purple to where we are now in red. Twice in this process, we had an emergency brake pulled where we went from a county approach to a regional reopening approach. That brake implemented slower reopenings and restrictions based on ICU availability. Next. As we transitioned in late January back to the tiered approach, we began a slow march towards our reopening, especially here in LA County. In early March, we transitioned from the purple tier to the red tier. And as of this morning, LA County actually qualifies for the orange tier. So one more week meeting these criteria, and we should have some additional reopening opportunities for LA County to consider, which is a great move. When the county moves from one place to the next, generally those allowances are triggered within 48 hours. Next slide, please. In addition to our natural progression, the state of California also announced some additional tier changes based on doses of vaccines to at-risk populations. We reached the first threshold of 2 million, which changed the allowance to move from purple to red tier. Once the state meets the 4 million doses, moving from into the orange and yellow tiers become easier. And those tier changes occur within 48 hours. But as we mentioned, LA County already meets the more restrictive requirements for the orange tier if we can stay there for another week. Next slide, please. As we talked about with the new tiered system, here's the breakdown from tier to tier. As you'll note in the last line down in the last row at the 4 million, moving into orange tiers and yellow tiers changes on new cases per day per 100,000 residents. Next slide, please. This is a slide we've shown for the past few meetings. This is how we compare to our relatively near counties. Incredibly impressive that Los Angeles County is reopening with Orange County, the largest county in the state of California, has metrics at an adjusted case rate of under 4 new cases per 100,000 residents per day. We have the lowest 7-day positivity average of any of the surrounding counties. And as it relates to our most at-risk population, LA County again leads in Southern California at 2.5% positivity rate in those infected areas. So on this list, Los Angeles County and Orange County, if we continue to meet our current statistics, which looks like we're going to be able to do, we'll both move into the orange tier next week. Next slide, please. Quick look at where the state of California is today with all 58 counties. There is more yellow and red this week. We expect to see more orange next week as well. Next slide, please. At a County of Los Angeles level, their reopening plan is called the Safer at Work and in the Community. That was from a health order dated May 29th. Similar to the state, there were some restrictions that were added in November, December, and January when we had our most recent spike. In February, we had some additional allowances as trends got better for youth sports and TK through 6th grade in-person education. And in March, we saw some expanded reopenings to K-12. as we moved into the state's red tier allowances. Next slide, please. Most recent health order, for those of you who are interested, was issued on March 19th, 2021 for the County of Los Angeles. That also included many updates to their appendices. The link here before you will take you to the most recent health order. As previously announced by the state for amusement park and concert venues, outdoor events, we expect health orders to be issued in April, especially as the County of Los Angeles moves to the orange tier and as additional allowances are allowed at the state level. Next slide, please, Elvia. And here are these additional allowances on April 1st. No, not April Fool's Day. These will actually occur during that time. And if we look at the orange tier, which is definitely where we're headed in Los Angeles County, having capacity of 33% for outdoor sports and live concerts is really when we start having a return to normal. 25% capacity for theme parks, I imagine will still feel like a lot of people for those of you visiting Disneyland. So, and our other theme parks in our area. So good news ahead. And then again, these go into effect in April. Next slide, please. Just a quick reminder with our local schools, K-12 in-person education is now allowed. There's an incentive at the state of California level for schools to reopen with protocols. It's been great that our two local public school districts that service the Glendora community both have plans established and approved for in-person education. Glendora Unified began above and beyond these small cohorts of allowable students in person. A more general reopening started in March and will continue on a tiered basis through April through high school, and Charter Oak Unified will follow a similar path through mid-April for reopening through K-12. Next slide, please. Just a general reminder, we still get asked the question, if the state of California sets the ceiling for allowances, the county sets the floor for allowances, the city could adopt additional restrictions, quote unquote, setting a basement, but to date, we have not done so. Next slide, please. So city facilities, as we return to more normal, just a quick reminder, the police station is open for in-person activities Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our transportation center from Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. City Hall beginning on Monday, April 5th, will be open on Monday through Thursday. The computer lab for library services on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 4. Library main floor access tentatively scheduled to begin Tuesday, April 6th. That'll be a Tuesday through Thursday at 25% capacity with various infection protocols and ensuring that our materials are quarantined effectively. And as always, as we've gone through the pandemic, staff is available via phone, internet, video meeting, you name it. If you need something, we will find a way to get you what you need, including scheduling in-person time, even if it requires after hours to help you out. Next slide, please. Most common question we get these days is on vaccines. Our information is always, make sure you check the following websites at both the state level and the county level. Eligibility changes on a frequent basis. If you have questions or need help, do not be afraid to call us, and we'd be happy to walk you through or put you in contact with the various officials to ensure that you can get vaccinated if you are qualified to do so. Next slide, please. Quick reminder, as we do all the time, here are the websites where you can find the most pertinent information. Big thank you to Greg Morton out there for the cityofglendora.org/COVID-19. He's been a wealth of information help for us in making sure that all the pertinent information is available on our website. Next slide, please. With that, Mayor, turn it back over to you for any questions the council may have.
Thank you, Adam. So don't go away. This brings us to item number 2, presentation of the quarterly strategic plan update. Adam, you're on again.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor. And then we'll get to the fun activities next. We thought before you step down from Mayor, we'd provide a quick update on our 3-year strategic plan and highlight some of the areas that we've accomplished. So with that, next slide, Elvia. In July of 2020, the City Council, City staff, and representatives from our boards and commissions met to discuss a 3-year strategic plan. Really, the conversation centered around focusing on COVID recovery first and foremost, and the importance of really aligning objectives to tasks to funding. That process, while had done every 6 months, really never set forth a precedent where our budget adoption would allow us the opportunity to ensure what gets funded gets done. Next slide, please. On October 13th, 2020, the City Council adopted its new strategic plan for fiscal years 2021 through fiscal year 22-23, which we refer to as the 2020-2023 strategic plan. Next slide, please. The goals that we have, there are 6 of them that we adopted that tasks and objectives are assigned to, from increasing financial stability to enhancing and modernizing the organization. We have a move to improve and maintain the city's infrastructure and facilities. Thank you very much, Measure E. And to implementing a strategic economic development. Big push from the council to enhance employee development and retention, and it implements the strategic homeless solutions. The last item there is a new goal that we added to the 3-year term above and beyond the previous ones that had existed for the previous 18 months. Next slide, please. Those goals had 58 main objectives and tasks that were set forth by the council to be accomplished over the next 3 years, the majority of which was modernization of the organization in a variety of areas, and other total objectives are stated here. We'll next go through just some highlights of some of the areas that are currently being undertaken and completed. Elvia, if you would, please. In financial, the City Council heard and followed up on the Citizens Ad Hoc Committee report late last calendar year. We have moved forward with recapturing a lot of our lost COVID-19 revenues associated with the pandemic, and a big boost recently from the feds with we anticipate about $7.5 million that will come into the city of Glendora, about $3.5 million a year for the next 2 years, sometime starting in June. And we are currently under development and look forward to publicly discussing the fiscal year 2021-2023 2-year budget. Next slide, please. From a modernization standpoint, we've reviewed the Medal of Merit program. It should be coming back to the City Council for consideration and adoption in April. We've implemented our paperless FPPC campaign filings. We've reviewed animal control programs and options. We've adopted a coyote management plan, adopted a short-term rental program, and adopted new City Council meeting rules. Next slide, please. We're currently updating our capital improvement plan. We've applied for funding and advocated for first last mile improvements for our local, state, and county officials. Wink, wink, nod, nod for those of you on the call this evening. And our transportation fleet and modernization is currently underway. Next slide, please. From an economic development standpoint, our housing element is well underway. Look forward to coming to the Planning Commission in April and City Council after that. We've begun development of a Gold Line vision and development plan, and our SB2 planning grant projects are currently underway. Next slide, please. With employees, we're happy that we have completed and implemented our water division class and comp study. We implemented childcare and recreational opportunities for children during COVID-19. And we have really had a great deal of success despite COVID-19 in improving our recruitment efforts during this time. Next slide, please. With homelessness, we've engaged local agencies on a sub-regional housing project that we're very excited about, and a sub-regional housing approach. And we've also supplemented homeless operations with both funding, grant funding, and upgrading one position to an analyst to help out with our local homeless population. Next slide, please. So as one of the hallmarks of our strategic plan is many of the items not listed here, the remainder of the 58 will be incorporated into the next 2-year budget with action items and years they will be completed under the auspice of what gets funded gets done. Next slide, please. If you have any questions on the strategic plan, you want to see the whole thing, see the individual items that are listed, you can please visit the city's website, cityofglendora.org/strategic plan. And with that, Mayor, turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. We got a lot done this last year.
Absolutely.
Thanks to your guidance and your help pushing this. This brings us to special item number 3, reorganization of the City Council and selection of Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem pursuant to Resolution CC 2019-03 and City Council policy relating to reorganization of the City Council. I'd like to call upon the City Clerk, Ms. Kathleen Sussman, to conduct the City Council reorganization.
Thank you, Mayor Alois. At this time, I'd like to declare the office of Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem vacant and call for nominations for the position of Mayor for the 2021-2022 year. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Karen Davis for the position of mayor for the next year.
Are there any other nominations for mayor? Hearing none, I'll declare that Karen Davis is elected mayor by acclamation. And I'd like to offer special congratulations to Mayor Davis. And at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to her for the selection of the Mayor Pro Tem and the remainder of the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Sussman, and thank you, Mr. Boyer. Are there any nominations for Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, I would like to nominate Gary as our Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilmember Boyer has been nominated for Mayor Pro Tem. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare that Gary Boyer has been selected as Mayor Pro Tem by acclamation. So congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, we have come to that portion of our meeting where we have a chance to say thank you and recognize Councilmember Alois for his last year that he has served as mayor. And we have various individuals that are here tonight to offer their congratulations. At the end of that, I'll turn it back over to council members to make comments. But I know we have one special guest in particular that I will let cut in line in front of everyone else, none other than Senator Anthony Portantino. So the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Davis, and let me congratulate you on becoming mayor and Mr. Boyer, vice mayor. It's exciting. As a former mayor myself, there's nothing better than serving on a city council. So congratulations to the two of you on getting that terrific rank during these trying times. And Mayor Alois Emeritus, or Michael, if I'm allowed to call you Michael, because
Absolutely.
my older brother was Michael, and so it's a good family name. So we're here to celebrate your year, and as you know, it's probably been a year like no other that anyone has faced. The pandemic has certainly affected every family and all of us in many ways, and your tenure during that time is worthy of commendation. And I know we sent a certificate that Marco had made sure has been delivered, so hopefully you have that in hand. But there's a state senate certificate recognizing your year as mayor, and listening to all of the accomplishments during this past year, there's a lot for you to be proud of serving the great city of Glendora. So I just wanted to personally congratulate you on a year well done, and know you're going to continue to work hard on the city council in whatever role you're at, and it's been worthy of commendation, and I'm happy to join in the rest of the folks who are going to congratulate you as well on this wonderful accomplishment during the past year.
Thank you, Senator. That was a team effort, not only with city council, but also with our city staff. So Thank you very much. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Congratulations, my friend, and to everyone else. It's great to serve the city of Glendora, and Marco is on the line as well. You all know you can work him as hard as you want, and I know you all do, and he always is the Energizer Bunny. So happy to represent you, and great to see all of you tonight, including your newly elected council member as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Portantino. Marco, since you're on the line also, is there anything you wanted to add?
I think that Senator Portantino said it best, so I'll leave it there. But Karen, congratulations on being elected mayor. And Michael, as usual, love working with you, and thank you for all the work you've done last year and for keeping me in a loop on everything that you guys have been doing in Glendora. And I look forward to continue working with you guys as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marco.
Thank you, Marco. Starting with our federal representatives, I know that no one from Congresswoman Grace Napolitano's office was able to be here tonight, but she did send a certificate. And there it is right there, congratulating you and thanking you for your year of service as mayor. And I believe is Enrique Robles on the line from Congresswoman Judy Chu's office.
Yeah, we did not see him come on the call. If he does at some point during these speeches, we can patch him in, but I did not see him come through.
Okay, thank you. I see that Cameron Griffin is on here from Assemblymember Blanca Rubio's office. So Cameron.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, first of all. Second of all, I just wanted to congratulate and thanks Mayor Michael Alawas on his commitment to our city for the past year. And I just wanted to read the cert that our office has provided. On behalf of Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio, I joined the California State Legislature and the residents of the 48th Assembly District in recognizing your exemplary leadership as mayor of the city of Glendora. Thank you for your ongoing dedication to the well-being of the community and your continued service. We appreciate everything that you did. We understand last year, especially during COVID, has been a trying times, but we know that you really showed out for our city. So we just wanted to say thank you again.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron. And from Supervisor Catherine Barger's office, we have Vicki Paul.
Hi, Mayor Davis. Thank you for having me here representing Catherine Barger and ex-mayor Michael Alawas. What a year it has been. You are in a select group of people that have had to lead their city during a time that is unprecedented. And I must say, as a representative and a constituent of the city of Glendora, I think it was quite a privilege that you were the man that led us during this very trying time. So want to wish you congratulations on a job very well done. And Karen, Mayor Davis, want to wish you the best of luck in this coming year. Thank you, Michael, for all your hard work, for keeping Catherine on her toes during various different meetings. You are
How much she loved that.
Yes. Thank you so much and the best of luck. You're awesome.
Thank you, VP. I really appreciate that, your friendship and your office staff and everyone else in Catherine Barger's office. They're amazing folks to work with. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki, and thank you for being here tonight. Mr. Alawas, as everyone has mentioned, this has been a year like no other. You have the honor of being Glendora's first virtual mayor, and you have definitely used social media to your advantage to work through and navigate this year using all of those devices. And so tonight we have some special recognitions for you. Not only
Mayor Davis.
Yes, sir.
At this time, could I interrupt for a second? Suggest that Michael goes and opens his door.
Yes.
He's on his way.
That will be very good.
Thank you.
So what'd you guys do?
Okay, well, Mr. Alawas, tonight you are receiving as a thank you and recognition, not only your traditional gavel plaque, and I believe that might be with those things that just arrived at your office, if you want to hold that up.
I thought for sure this was going to be a picture of a gavel, a virtual one.
Well, we're not done yet, sir, so just stand by. So you have.
So this is what it looks like, huh?
So that is in recognition and as a thank you for your year. But because this has been a year like no other, that you have served as a virtual mayor, we also have a plaque for you, actually a shadow box that is unique because of the unique responsibilities that you have had this year. So you'll note in that shadow box are some of the tools that you've made use of this year.
So whose cell phone is this that I have to give back? Does it come with a plan?
So in there is a cell phone and a computer mouse, a camera, So those are some of the tools of the trade of a virtual mayor. And so that's what we know that you have used this year. So to
I love-
recognize that,
I love the mini gavel.
yes. And then I believe that Mayor Pro Tem Boyer and Councilmember Thompson also have a special gift for you that they'd like to present at this time. So I will turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem Boyer to narrate that gift.
Well, we know, Michael, how much you have enjoyed being virtual mayor, and you can have the shadow box as memorabilia of the year, but you need something to make sure that everybody knows that you were Glendora's first and hopefully only virtual mayor. So inside the box, if you have opened it,
You're not going to make me wear this, are you?
it's an
Yes,
actual
we are.
sash
Yes.
that you
Of
can
course.
wear around for the next year.
Sure. Great sense of humor, guys.
Yeah. And Cynthia, thank you very much for helping us with this. She's not showing her face on camera, but
Come around.
no.
She says you're welcome.
And thank you, Cynthia, for all of your support and participation throughout the year. We appreciate that as well.
Thank you, guys. It was special.
Thank you. Mr. Boyer, anything else that you would like to say before I invite the others to make comments?
Well, I'll start out as it's been said so many times, we've used words like unprecedented and, this has been such an odd year for us. And to come up with ways to be able to communicate with the public, keep things moving in the right direction. We had a conversation at the beginning of this year that my hope for our city and for our residents was that in March of 2021, my hope was that we were in the same position that we were in March of 2020. If we could have just treaded water for the last year, that would have been great. But you have taken a leadership position. Your idea of implementing the minute with the mayor has been very popular amongst the residents of Glendora. We've heard a lot of good feedback on that. But just some of the ideas of not accepting just treading water and trying to get us moving forward, and with the help of staff. And you've done a great job. And I'm just proud to have been able to serve with you while you were mayor. But thank you, Michael, for your service.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Councilmember Thompson.
Michael, thank you so much for the energy and time and effort that you have put into a challenging year. I know that as we've shared lunches with much energy and gusto at times, and challenging each other, and yet always having time to laugh. It's been a real sense of pride as to what you have done to, as Gary said, to make sure that we continue to move. And I think that what Adam shared showed greatly what we have been able to do during such a crazy year. And so thank you for your energy, your optimistic spirit, your hope, and your energy to try different things. You've created the operations call every week, and have just done a lot of different things that ordinarily a mayor wouldn't have done. And so it's been a pleasure to serve with you during this year, and of course you're going to be on. And I hope that you will find time to take a breath, reconnect with your wife and kids, and enjoy new life that's coming into the family, and just enjoy being able to not be as focused as you have been. So thank you for a good job, and it's a pleasure to have served with you during such a incredible year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mendo. I really enjoyed our fatherly talks, as it were, and they were very valuable moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Friedendahl.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Michael, what can I say? Your tutorial on helping me guide through my first year of a new level of public service that I'd never adventured to before. I guess I too can say what the heck is normal, because I haven't found it yet. I think it was nice to certainly be on a team that made news in the region was not the news. So that's very good. And to have people wondering, how do we do that? Engaging the different entities around town, whether it's our businesses, our Chamber of Commerce, everybody on the staff team, that you prompted and motivated us to get involved and make a difference, to lead our community and survive this last year. Even though you would never let me into the council chambers or let me fight over the bad chair, we'll get those times, I know. Thank you for your service and for your tutorial. I look forward to continuing that. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave. They didn't let me in the chambers either.
Councilmember Alwas, would you like to make any additional comments?
Yes. You're never, I don't think, ever really prepared to be mayor. And I don't know if you're ever really prepared to be a former mayor. I know on the run up to this, I had compared my predecessors and what they went through. They all had issues to deal with when they're on their mayorship. And I would think, okay, what's my issue going to be? Not knowing that was going to be multiple issues. And I don't know how well you're prepared for that, but I have to have special thanks to Greg and Craig that helped on the media side. They did an amazing job in helping me. This is something new for me. I was not used to those minutes with the mayor and some of the special presentations, but it was something that had to be done. We were in a very unique situation. So Greg and Craig, thank you very, very much for that. And to all of you, a lot of emotions this last year across the board, not just within City Hall, but out in our community. And I have to say that by and large, our community stood tall, and they really looked out for each other as best we possibly could. And we try to navigate these waters. And the City Council has been very supportive overall. I know sometimes I get out there and try to get ahead of my skis. It's kind of my nature, but we got through this with your help and support. And to staff, and I know that Adam, I've challenged you quite a bit over this last year, and I'm not going to apologize for that, but I think that we landed well. I think that we got a lot done. I really am thankful for your help and your support in trying to see the vision of the council move forward. It means an awful lot to me. And I think it means an awful lot to our citizens. And we've hopefully we'll continue with this and even get better. I'm sure that Karen and Gary will do an amazing job and move this whole forward. I'm so very proud and very grateful. And I'm really proud of our folks out in our town. They're just amazing folks, very friendly and open and willing to help. And I just can't say enough. So with that, Madam Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. And thank you again for your service. And the reorganization then leads us into another piece of business related to that, item 4.
Well, Madam Mayor.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, this is extremely unusual circumstances, but I think it's appropriate to recognize the fact that congratulate you for being elected as mayor again. I believe this is your 4th time serving as mayor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's probably second only to Joe Finkbeiner. If you stick around for a few more to be able to do it again, but I just think it's important that it's so unusual for us to not be able to do this in person, to recognize that, and to thank you for stepping up and taking on the duties of being mayor for this next upcoming year. And I just wanted to make sure that we didn't skip over that, but thank you for that, Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. With that in mind, let us go to item 4, 2021 annual review of city council appointments to various regional organizations as city representatives and delegates. And I invite City Clerk Communications Director Kathleen Sussman to report.
Thank you, Mayor Davis. Following the city council reorganizations, one of the next steps that has to occur is the council is requested to review and make changes to the various regional boards and committees that it sits on as voting members and represents the residents of the city of Glendora. The city participates in these groups because it allows us to have further outreach and work with surrounding communities and organizations that have issues that also impact our residents and the Glendora community. Certain assignments are regulated by government codes such as the City Select Committee and the County Sanitation District. Both of these committees do require that the mayor serve as the delegate representative on each board. In addition to that, we do serve, the council members serve on various other boards, such as the League, the Council of Government, and now I can't think of any of the other ones. But we are requesting that the council provide direction that we insert the newly elected mayor into the position of delegate for the City Select Committee and the County Sanitation District. And in addition to that, we're requesting that Councilmember Alowis replace Councilmember Davis and serve as the alternate on the County Sanitation District number 22, and that Councilmember Friedendahl replace Councilmember Thompson and serve as delegate on the League of California Cities. In order to do this, I request that the City Council adopt a City Council resolution entitled a resolution appointing delegates and alternates to the various regional boards and committees for the City of Glendora for 2021-2022 and rescind resolution CC 2020-16 and direct the city clerk to insert the names of the newly appointed mayor as assigned to the City Select Committee and County Sanitation as required by government code. I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. This item does require a public comment. So at this time, I'm going to get members of the public to address the City Council. Announce that they are limited to 3 minutes. If you would like to make a public comment, you can use the raise hand icon, and that you will have 3 minutes to make those comments when it's your turn to speak. Madam Deputy City Clerk, have there been any requests to speak?
Thank you, Mayor Davis. At this time, we've received no requests for public comment during the Zoom meeting or through the public comment email.
Thank you very much. So at this time then, having no public comments, I will close public comment and bring it back to the council for any comments or questions or to take a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'm sorry.
I was going to move to accept the resolution.
Second.
Madam Deputy City Clerk, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. That's a motion by Councilmember Friedendahl, a second by Councilmember Thompson. I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alowis?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer?
Yes.
And Mayor Davis?
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That takes us to the next item. We do not have any student reports tonight, so the next item is public comment. And once again, we invite members of the public to address the city council, and that they are limited to 3 minutes. And they can speak on items both on and off of the agenda. This is your opportunity to have a chance to address the council. If you wish to speak, you can use the raise hand icon. And so at this time, Deputy City Clerk, do we have any public comments, either that have been submitted in writing or any raised hands?
Thank you, Mayor. No public comments were received in writing or through the email. We have received a request by Chamber of Commerce Josina to give public comment. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. You've got 3 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor Davis, City Council, City staff, you all know me. My name is Joe, President, CEO of the Glendora Chamber of Commerce. First off, I'd like to, on behalf of the Glendora Chamber and myself, congratulate and thank Councilmember Alois for your service this past year. As it's been said, it's been a different kind of year, but you did a great job. You were out in front of the community, and it was a pleasure working with you in that position. And also congratulate you to Mayor Davis for your position as mayor now.
Thank you.
As the chamber has been doing, we continue to work with our local businesses to get out the updates and compete with City Manager Raymond and who gets it out first. But no, it's all fun. No, it's just a lot of it's fun working together with that. But this past weekend, we had a couple of restaurants have grand openings. One was Dog House in the Glendora Market, and Spotless Burgers in the center there on Lone Hill and Route 66. Also in that same center, kind of across the way, opened recently was Mi Sabor Mexican Kitchen. So I also visited that. So this past Saturday, I had 3 lunches, all great food, but don't recommend it. Just, but had to try them all. They're all great, all different kinds of food. So I highly recommend. We will be having actual ribbon cuttings for them sometime soon. We're probably going to start those again late April and May, but at a reduced, amount. So, so besides that, besides all of our advocacy work through our Ledge Committee, the chamber is working to increase our membership. So as I have been doing for 10 years now here, I invite all businesses to be part of this chamber and to check us out. If you didn't see this past year, we've kind of been a key business into town here, helping our businesses get through this. So give us a call at the chamber or on our website. Also, just a quick reminder, a week from tomorrow, we will be having the Glendora State of the Schools at 6:30 p.m. We do have over 200 people RSVP'd for it at this time, and we still have room. So it will be at 6:30, and you could RSVP at glendorastateoftheschools.com. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mr. Sina. Do we have any others requesting to speak?
And at this time, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Well, seeing none, then I will close public comment and bring it to the council for reports and statements. Councilmember Alois. Oh, you're muted.
That's what happens when I don't have to run the meeting. Last week at our COG meeting, we have one item that got everyone's attention. It's a new proposed rule by AQMD. It's Rule 2305, where they are proposing a special tax on starting at 100,000 square foot warehouses and above, where they will charge a special fee and for the use of vehicles on their property, inside their building, and also trucks that come to deliver. And it's to dissuade them from using diesel and regular gasoline engines, and they want them to go full EV on all of this. And if they don't, they can buy certain credits and points. And in this, sometime in May, they're going to have a vote on their board to implement this. Some of the issues that we have going back are that are a number of cities that are pushing back, and also at the state level, there may be some lawsuits incurred because this is considered as a tax and not necessarily a fee. So there's going to be more to come on this item on Rule 2305. And as usual, if this goes into effect, it will get passed down to the consumer. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Alawas. Councilmember Friedendahl.
No reports, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Well, I'd just like to remind everybody that Mendo and I are going to be hosting a community conversation tomorrow evening. And again, these community conversations are open to anybody to talk about anything that you would like. But tomorrow night, we specifically would like to talk and get a little bit more feedback about the proposed changes around the Gold Line, some of the traffic patterns. We had the test up for the bike lanes going down Glendora Avenue between Ada and Foothill. And we saw a lot of feedback on social media and stuff, but you know, any ideas, any suggestions? I know that staff's done a pretty good job of making some adjustments to it, but that has been taken down now and it's back to what it was before. But if you have any interest in joining us, you can email me and I'll be happy to send you a link. You can email me at gary@garyboyer.com, easiest one to remember, and look forward to seeing everybody then. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Thompson.
Madam Mayor, thank you for being able to serve again. And I want to echo what Gary had said and previously, and appreciate all of the leadership that I know that you're going to give. I also want to echo what Gary just said about the Wednesday night talk from 7 to 8, and it's going to be fun, exciting, and would welcome everyone to be a part of that. And with the red tier being done, and hopefully us being able to move to orange tier soon, let's remember to eat and shop here and continue to support everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you. And just briefly, I wanted to say thank you again to my colleagues for this opportunity to serve in this position, and look forward to this year ahead as we continue to move forward. At this time, it brings us to reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or make any additions to the agenda?
No.
No.
Seeing none, then we have no public hearings, and that takes us then to the consent calendar. The consent calendar can be enacted by one motion without any individual vote or discussion on them. I know that two of you asked to make comments on a few of the items, so we will not pull those items for discussion, but before we have the vote, we'll open it up to the comments that you wanted to make. Councilmember Thompson?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would like to applaud staff for the fact that the amount that was going to be spent on items 11 and 10, 10 being the booster pump, and 11 being the chamber roof. Each of those came in for a collective amount of $24,000 under what we thought that we would spend. Government is often accused of spending more. We can only look at our bullet train and the billions of dollars that has spent, that has cost us more than what they thought. And so I just wanted to say thank you to our city staff for the tremendous job that they did to get both of these things done, and for less than what we thought. So thank you. Mm-hmm. And that's all.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer. Oh, you're muted, sir.
Yeah, there we go. Got it. I wanted to just quickly on item number 12, we're talking about doing some parking improvements in the village. I think it's important to point out when we're spending this kind of money, but also we did the parking study a while back, and what we're doing on item 12 is just addressing the handicap accessibility and some of the handicap parking and grading that needs to be done. This is not the renovation of all of the parking lots. That's definitely needed, and it's on the plans for the future, but I wanted to point that out. And then on items number 14 and 15, as always, staff is doing a great job of making improvements to the city and maintaining things. And we've got a project going on where we're replacing some water lines down on Dawson Avenue and Washington and Pennsylvania, down by Glen Oaks Golf Course. And then as soon as they're done with the work under the streets, those streets are going to be repaved. And item 15 is a project up on Donington where, again, water lines are being replaced. These guys do a great job with very, very old water lines. But Donington will not be repaved immediately after the work is done. The street's actually in decent shape, but that is on the plans in the future. So just wanted to point those things out, and thank you.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve items 6 through 15?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. That's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Boyer, a second by Councilmember Alawas. I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to new business. Item 16, Business Improvement District Fiscal Year 2021 to 2022 Annual Report. And tonight, joining us to report on that, we have Housing and Economic Development Manager Valerie Velasquez to present the staff report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations once again, and good evening to all of council. So tonight, this is one of first of several steps in order to renew the assessments collected within the Business Improvement District, or the BID. So council is asked to approve the annual report, which was recommended for approval by the BID board on March 4th, and also to adopt a resolution of intent to levy and collect assessments for the upcoming fiscal year of 2021-2022. The annual report includes several components, primarily the boundaries, which is Glendora Avenue from Foothill to Bennett, primarily commonly known as the Glendora Village. The assessment methodology, which is how each business is assessed their amount to pay each year. There's no changes there. And also the planned activity, which includes marketing, contribution to landscaping costs, and the events that they hold. And in addition, it is the budget with the revenues and the expenditures planned for the upcoming year. So the annual report was in your packet for review. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. With the approval of the annual report and the resolution of intent, then what will happen is that staff will go ahead and mail the resolution as well as a letter explaining the process to all of the BID businesses that are affected. We'll also go ahead and publish the resolution in the paper to give public notice on that. And then there will be 2 public hearings, one on May 11th, where testimony can be received on anything within the annual report and the assessments. And then the second one on May 25th, once again, a public hearing where testimony can be received. And should there be any protest votes, they will be tabulated at that time. And then in the absence of 50% of the weighted protest votes, council will be able to adopt a resolution to levy and collect assessments for the fiscal year 22. So tonight, council recommendation is to approve the fiscal year 21-22 annual report for the BID and to adopt a resolution announcing intentions to levy and collect assessments for the fiscal year 21-22 for the Glendora Village Business Improvement District. And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions should there be any.
Thank you, Valerie. All right, I'll bring it back to council for any comments or questions. Councilmember Alawas.
My space bar wasn't working. No comments. Thank you.
Councilmember Friedendahl.
Yes, I'd just like to thank the bid members and the committee for continuing to work to keep our business vital and our economy going in the business district, coming up with ways to keep us going, keep our community engaged. Appreciate the work they've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
No questions, just looking forward to everybody getting open and seeing what the bid has in store for us this year.
Councilmember Thompson.
I support this, and as Gary just said, I cannot wait for things to get back to yellow or whatever stage is above that, and the bid can start to do its thing. I have missed all of the events and appreciate the leadership which they give. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then I will ask for a motion.
So moved.
And a second. Oh.
Second.
Thank you. That was a motion, I believe, by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Councilmember Thompson. I'll take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alawas?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer?
Yes.
And Mayor Davis?
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to item 17, delegate authority to the city manager to determine disability of local public safety members and to make applications on behalf of the agency. And tonight to report on that is Human Resources Manager Karen Resendez. Karen.
Good evening, and congratulations, Madam Mayor, on your appointment.
Thank you.
The city is a contracting agency with CalPERS, and under Article 6 of the Government Code, it provides for the mechanism for employees to file for disability retirement. There are several government codes which provide how they can file, and under one particular code, which is 21156, it requires that the local governing body make the decision of whether or not a local safety member is eligible to retire for a disability reasons, and that would be based on a competent medical opinion. And there's also a corresponding government code which provides that the governing body can delegate that authority to make those decisions to a city official. Similarly, under Government Code 21152C, it provides that the city can make an application on behalf of an employee for an industrial disability retirement, and that authority can also be delegated from the governing body to a city official. Next slide, please. So in researching the process in order to respond to a disability retirement application by one of our employees, we discovered that we did not have a formal delegation of authority in place, and it's required by CalPERS. And the delegation of authority would provide a measure of confidentiality for any employee that's applying for a disability retirement or in making the application for the disability retirement. And it would eliminate the need to bring forth those applications and decisions at a public meeting and reducing the time that would be needed to process it. Delegating authority is consistent with other agencies. We did a quick survey, and many of our surrounding agencies, including Arcadia, Claremont, Corona, Monrovia, Orange, Upland, and Chino, all responded that they in fact have such a delegation of authority and they delegate it to a city official. Next slide, please. There's no financial impact to delegate the authority to the city manager, which is what we're requesting. The fiscal impacts may occur if it's granted, but those are CalPERS calculations that the employee would receive in their benefits. And if there are any other mitigating circumstances that would require any kind of a financial settlement related to it, we would bring that to closed session. Next slide, please. So we're requesting that you approve a resolution to delegate authority to the city manager to make the determinations under Government Code Section 21156 for local safety members, and also to delegate authority to the city manager to make the disability retirement applications under Government Code 21152C for all employees. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
No questions.
Okay. Councilmember Friedendahl.
I support this, and I certainly support the respect and confidentiality it affords our team members should they find they need to go take this course of action. It's a good choice and a good direction, I believe. Thank you.
Councilmember Thompson.
I support this, and the questions that I had have been previously asked and answered, and I think it's a good deal for us. Thank you.
Councilmember Alawas.
I support this and have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. That is a motion by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Councilmember Thompson. I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That takes us to item 18, amendment number 5 to city manager employee agreement. And at this time, I would like to call on our city attorney, Bill Winder, to make the staff report. Mr. Winder.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations on your election as mayor for the 4th time. I can tell by the way you conduct this meeting, this is not your first rodeo, so great job so far. The council recently convened a lawfully called closed session to discuss among themselves and with the city manager wages, hours, and terms and conditions of his employment. As a result of that closed session discussion, the city attorney's office was directed to prepare a 5th amendment to the employment agreement with the city manager. That employment agreement is before you tonight, and we seek council authorization to direct the newly ensconced mayor to execute that agreement following approval of it by the city manager. With that, if there are any questions, I'll be pleased to answer them. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Thompson.
No, I support this and think it's a good deal, and am happy that our city manager has accepted this, and good days are ahead. Thank you.
Councilmember Friedendahl.
No questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Alawas.
No questions. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Just a comment that, when Adam started with us, he was a brand new city manager, first time, and has definitely proven himself to have the experience and the knowledge and the will of any veteran out there. So, we are very pleased that you're part of our team and look forward to many good years to come.
Yes, and I would just add to that we thank you for your knowledge, wisdom, insight, and integrity and leadership, and appreciate all of that you have brought to the city.
And dare we add patience?
Yes. Anyone else? Any other comments? Okay. Then I ask for a motion.
So moved.
I would approve.
Okay, so I think I heard a motion by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Councilmember Thompson. I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes.
Thank you. That passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That takes us to item 19, discussion on project proposal request for federal funding through the appropriations process and the transportation reauthorization process. And tonight, reporting on that will be our city manager, Adam Raymond, and also available for any questions is transportation manager, Stephen Mateer. So Mr. Raymond.
Good evening, Mayor. Congratulations and welcome to the 4th time down this lane.
Thank you.
Looking forward to working with you. Just really quickly, in my favorite part of the night, Stephen's on with his son making an appearance. it's the best part of really any council meeting, honestly. We were notified, the councilman Alvis and Mayor Davis were notified along with myself by Congresswoman Napolitano's office that the appropriations process was going to come back through the federal government. We were asked to respond by March 31st in the forms that are attached to your packet this evening with potential projects for funding up to 10 million. The transportation could be more. They requested that these would be within the federal priorities and the city would have the ability to link several different funding sources together. We met as an executive team, all the departments coming together with options for funding before them for presentation before the council this evening. For the general appropriation category, we came up with two potential items for consideration. The first one is transportation electrification, which potentially looks at moving the transportation yard to the current parks yard, adding some additional capacity at the city's public works yard, including some storage of documents to allow for electrification of our buses. Currently, the transportation yard, the electrical infrastructure is not suited for that process, but the city's parks yard is. The entire process would also include a request for 2 electric buses or more, and would include some moving around of city departments and operations into different locations. The other item is South Hills Nature Park. We had the opportunity with Mayor Pro Tem Boyer and Councilmember Frittenall to visit Baldwin Hills, which pulled money from several different sources statewide, which was a betterment of a open area. The city in South Hills, which has been topic of conversation for several fronts, including our citizens ad hoc committee, looked at a revitalization and expansion of the trails, different amenities. Baldwin Hills had rooms the public could rent out, learning facilities, and we would look at applying for funding to allow for betterments in South Hills, more active participation in that area by residents, utilizing the trails and other amenities there could address a number of issues that we've experienced in South Hills. We would look for council, both questions and direction on one of those 2 items. We can apply for one, but not both. The second item is under the transportation reauthorization. And here we took a look at projects that are near and dear to our hearts and those that were funded or had some funding previously and have been well vetted. What we would call people movement submission is really a combination of first last mile projects that were adopted via resolution by the council and also expansion of our urban trail system. This is truly a project that meets a number of federal goals and objectives, could be eligible for various committee funding that exist, and quite frankly have plans for and have had a lot of the discussion, projects that would benefit everyone in the community, east, west, north, and south, would have additional people movement access. So we're looking for some direction and support to submit on that item. And just really quickly, through a process like this, there's no guarantees of funding. First of all, it's once council provides us the direction, spending some significant staff time, providing the best application possible, filling in the details, making our case in hopes that Napolitano's office would select these submissions as the few that she gets to submit to the various committees, and then really working with the council and the various groups if they get selected to advocate, not just with our local officials, but other people in those areas to help us provide that funding. So this is the first time in 10 years the appropriations process has been opened up at the federal level. We feel like we have a couple of projects here that are definitely would impact the community. Hopefully we've picked projects that are in line with the council's goals and priorities as well. And we look forward to answering any questions. And if the council has any other ideas on projects you'd like us to submit for, we're definitely open to that conversation and look forward to try to advocate for some funding for our communities.
Thank
With that,
you.
Mayor,
Stephen, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I just say this is a very unique opportunity. This type of request, as Adam said, hasn't happened in 10 years. And I think all the projects that we've submitted are in a great position to receive funding.
Thank you. All right. Councilmember Thompson.
Madam Mayor, thank you. And I want to applaud staff for getting on this as quickly as they have. You didn't have a lot of time to, vet this. And I couldn't think of three better things to think about and request some funding for. And I support this. And in our briefing time today, we talked about this. And so I'm very happy with everything and willing to move ahead as the council would see fit with, all of these. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Alawas.
Thank you, Mayor. Adam, this is open to all members of Congress, correct, to do this?
That is correct.
And they each one have a budget, I believe?
That is a great question, actually. Theoretically, members of Congress sit on committees that allocate funding for projects like this that come to their constituencies. That is a great simplification of this process, but really a lot of the funding comes from, yes, they do have some of their own funding potentially through a funding bill, which has not occurred yet. These are projects that will be funded in fiscal year 22, so next fiscal year. So Congress would have to sort through all of that funding bill itself, but also the various committees then would have funding. So in some ways, some of our more powerful members of Congress in our local area will have more funding at their disposal.
So is this strictly by invitation only?
Yes, we were asked by Napolitano's office to use these forms to submit.
So since we have two members of Congress to represent us, can we do an unsolicited to the other Congress person?
I think any of the decisions we make this evening, one project in each of those categories, we would definitely spread that request as far and wide as we could.
All right, and there's a tall order to get all this ready. I think it's by the 31st it has to be done by?
Yeah, nothing like being notified on the 10th or 11th, I can't remember. And then trying to get the item on the agenda for council direction, because I think a council action proves, when we submit items, this isn't just staff's crazy ideas. These are also have some foresight and are rooted in other council direction.
So since there's three items on here that's been highlighted, are you going to be able to get all three done, or how much level of detail are they requesting? Two? You want
Pretty significant. So in the first category, we're going to look for some council direction if you'd like us to pursue the transportation electrification front or the South Hills Nature Park front, one of those two items. And then additional look for your support on the people movement, which is the urban trail and first last mile improvements as a combined funded project. Staff is ready. I know Stephen's here chomping at the bit no matter what. I know John's on the call as well. We have contacts with Baldwin Hills. So anytime someone dangles potentially up to $10 million in front of you, I think we'll find the staff horsepower to make sure this gets done and done well.
So I take it the first two items are the wish list from staff?
Well, they're in two different categories as included in the staff report. One's the appropriation process. We tried to find potential projects that fit the criteria of the requests. So the requests were projects that could cobble together existing funding, and the federal funding's the last item there. And the second request was that fit the federal project and priorities of the current administration. Generally speaking, people want to cut ribbons at things. I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about here, right? And so transportation, electrification, open space, big ticket items for many people in Congress and are elected officials. Obviously from the South Hills side of things, a little different take than than currently an expansion of the National Recreation Area. That's sort of our own take on our own space and use, and the transportation electrification kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of things happening in both the state of California at a federal level. And obviously people movement have been projects we've been working on for a long time in town. So to answer your question, this is staff putting its brain together, trying to come up with existing projects that have been talked about, other potential items that have been discussed at a committee and ad hoc level, and trying to present the council with ideas of projects that we think have a legitimate chance of being funded.
So would historic streetlights fall under electrification?
No.
I knew I'd wake you up.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to insert that.
Believe it or not, we did discuss that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
maybe we can throw that over the transom to our other congresswoman.
I would add, Councilman, that there is a provision that nonprofits can apply for funding as well through this reauthorization process. So if there is a nonprofit that specializes in city streetlight infrastructure, I think maybe they would have a chance.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Karen.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Friedendahl.
You burst my bubble. I was thinking, first of all, these are 3 terrific projects, but we can only ask for 2 is what I'm finally figuring this out, right?
Yeah. So, and it's really too, you can come up with something that's not on the list. There are other options that are out there. But in the first category, the appropriation process,
we have to pick.
No, quite honestly, as we sat around as staff, John brought up the Baldwin Hills site visit, and it really stuck with us as a project that would cover a bunch of different areas.
Mm-hmm.
The transportation electrification is definitely on our strategic plan. It's something that we're aiming for. It's definitely something we're going to try to achieve, and there's funding out there. But we felt that other idea in South Hills was so good that we definitely need to bring it to City Council for consideration.
Okay, well, I certainly enjoy the opportunity to create things for the community to use. So the urban trail opportunity sounds wonderful, and the South Hills, it's gonna be a tough choice on South Hills or reallocate facility space. They're both valid needs. Great work, staff, on making the decision tough. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Adam, just to ask the question, because one of the things we also brought up and talked about was, on the transportation side, Route 66 is in dire need of revitalization. And if you could just touch on why that really is not an option at this point.
Yeah. When we talked to staff, and I see Allison's on the call, and the price tag there is well over 10 million to do the entire stretch of Route 66. And there are some necessary water projects that we could help cobble together funding. Honestly, with a project of that scope and that size, it is absolutely, you are correct, something that needs to get done. And with potentially some of the changes on Route 66 that may come as we look at housing element and rezoning, there may be a chance to parcel together some private equity. It's difficult to imagine that Route 66 would cost more than changes in South Hills, but based on some initial discussions that we had, South Hills is a cheaper endeavor and fits within the budget as specified here. Route 66 would be incredibly expensive, and for future development, we're not quite sure we have that pinpointed to a level of which we'd feel confident in taking on that project.
Okay, appreciate it. These are all great projects. Personally, the residents of Glendora, they love to be outdoors. They love our parks and things, and any opportunity that we have to make improvements there to get more people outdoors and enjoying that. We all know that Southern California is going to become more crowded, and we're all going to be in need of spaces. So I am, of course, I'm partial to the South Hills project, and then of course the urban trails. So that would be my choices. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. And I would agree with Mayor Pro Tem Boyer. The electrification project is great, but with that, I have the feeling that we would be dependent upon what Edison would do and how they would support that. And I don't want to be dependent on someone else. I'd rather do a project that we could jump right in and do ourselves. And I think that the improvements to the South Hills would speak to a multiplicity of issues that have come up. So I would also agree that that project from those two would be my preference. So if there are no further comments or questions, then I would ask for a motion if anyone's ready to do so.
Well, what actually is the motion? I think you folks want direction, right, Adam?
Yeah, so if we had a motion, if there was a motion to the council, sounds like in talking to the, or hearing from two of the council members, if there's a motion to direct staff to apply for the appropriation process for the South Hills Nature Park and for the transportation reauthorization project for our people movement project, which is the urban trail and first last mile, that would be the type of direction that we're looking for.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. That is a motion by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Councilmember Friedendahl. I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you again to staff for working on that so quickly. All those ideas are great, and the two that are being recommended, I think, will be very advantageous to the community. So thank you. All right, council and staff items. Does anyone have any additional comments to make?
I have.
Mr. Friedendahl.
Okay, a couple things just came to mind. We are in the process of going through a application process for the committees and commissions in the city, and I believe we may not have had applications respond to all. So there's a consideration that we would extend some of those for community members that may want to consider being on one of those committees. So I invite you to look at the city website and see if there's an opportunity that piques your interest.
Thank you.
Second, pardon?
Thank you for that good reminder.
Yeah. Secondly, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. The clerk's office might be harpooning me, but I think we're okay there. We'd rather have applicants than not. Some have had responses, but others have not. Those are open. And I'd like to congratulate you, Madam Mayor, on your tenure and your term. So guide us well. I know you will. I get the distinct privilege of recognizing one of our colleagues, something that hasn't been publicly announced recently, and it just came to our attention this past week, but our very own now Mayor Davis is to be recognized later this week as a recipient from State Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio as one of Blanca Rubio's 2021 Women of the Year, joined by 5 other members in the local San Gabriel Valley communities. But Karen is being recognized for her amazing work, impact in the community, unselfish leadership, and help with so many different entities that go unheralded. And I, for one, applaud this and invite a person who doesn't go out and seek notoriety, but please join us in wishing Karen a congratulations for this great honor. And I believe there may be something wandering in your way, maybe thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, very cute.
From the city, we have learned that Karen has become quite the connoisseur of roses. So we are presenting you with a rose bush or two to add to your collection in your personal arboretum. We look forward to sharing those. So congratulations. on board and take care of those good roses.
Thank you very much. They're very beautiful. And already one of the cats has come to inspect. So I think they meet with approval. So thank you. Councilmember Thompson.
Madam Mayor, I just want to applaud you and everything that David said. We're very, very proud of you, and the honor that you're going to get this week is something very well earned and special, and sets us apart. And we are just thankful that you have been picked. We reflected on you and others on March the 9th as we celebrated International Day on March 8th, and never knew that you were going to get this, but it really sums up the entire month for us and the impact that women such as you have had. So enjoy that time. Naturally, we all wish that we could be there to enjoy that with you, but we will join you via Zoom, and enjoy the roses there. And thank you for an excellent job that you have done for us for many, many years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Alawas.
Thank you, Mayor. And I also too would like to extend my congratulations to you on this award from Blanca Rubio. She's a good lady and well-deserved. And also congratulations on your assumption to being mayor. I'm sure you'll lead us well in this next year, and hopefully it's smooth sailing. And I'd like to thank everyone who has reached out and given their thanks and congratulations to me as well. It's greatly appreciated and very humbling. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Well, Karen, like usual, I spoke out of turn and spoke up earlier to congratulate you. I didn't follow the rules, but just ditto to those words again, and congratulations on the recognition from Assemblywoman Rubio. And now, not much to ask for, but would you please get us back to in person? That's it.
All right. Well, thank you. Any comments from staff?
I've got one observation, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I was preparing to read the agenda today and thinking, man, this is going to be an 11 o'clock meeting, and we're going to get out of here at 8:30. And I wonder if that has something to do with who the presiding officer is.
Hey, come on now.
Karen,
Yes,
Chief Madigan
Chief
here.
Egan.
I'd just like to say congratulations. Welcome to your fourth tour as mayor, and congratulations on being selected by for the Woman of the Year, or recognized for that distinguished honor. I've known you for many years, working in collaboration with the police department, and I'm just incredibly blessed to have you as a friend, and now as mayor, and recognize your efforts. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Mayor, just a couple of announcements really quick. As part of our strategic plan, the Sierra Madre landscape area, which failed a while ago, which has been the topic of lots of conversation. Allison assures me that letters are being drafted by our engineering firm to go out. So be on the lookout for those, and we'll be scheduling community conversations with council members on that front as well. And just also, I indicated earlier, congratulations, welcome to your fourth term, and definitely appreciate the council support, and my family and I are looking forward to many years here to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other staff announcements? Okay, if not, then I turn it back over to our city attorney to report any actions out of closed session. Mr. Winder?
Sorry about that, Mayor.
It's okay.
A special council meeting held earlier today at 6:15. the city council met in closed session with the city attorney's office and appropriate city staff to consider the facts and circumstances which may give rise to an exposure to litigation in one case. There was a privileged and confidential briefing. Questions were asked and answered. Direction was given, but no reportable action was taken. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. If there is nothing further, then we stand adjourned at 8:33. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for all of your hard work on behalf of the citizens of Glendora. Take care.
Good night.